Hey everyone, this is a food fence follow-up where we're going to cover some of the lessons we learned in the last week, as well as repair and replant based on some of the damage that we've had. So let's jump right into it. First off, some of the lessons that we've learned. Well, first of all, how much plant quality matters. Some of the tomato plants, especially that we put in, as well as some of the cucumber plants that we put in, we're kind of struggling. We left them in small pots for probably a little bit too long. They've kind of gotten a little bit mucked up by the chickens because we left them inside the fence when they were in those small pots. So they had really gone through the thick of it. So they weren't in the best shape when we planted them. And then shortly after planting, we had really intense weather. So that's our second lesson learned. Be aware of what the forecast is. 2 days after finishing the plant fence, a nor'easter rolled through New England and we got 7 inches of rain in a single day. And not only was there a ton of water, but there was also just a huge onslaught of kind of pelting rain. It wasn't a gentle mist, let's just say. So that definitely kind of hammered these already kind of in a little bit of rough shaped plants. The third thing we learned was how important it is to overseed, and that's actually a success. I really seeded heavily in the sugar snap peas, the snow peas, and the shell peas that I planted, and that has really paid off. I'm sure not all of those seeds have survived, but tons of them have, and I'm really happy for that, especially given the weather that they were subjected to. The other lesson that we learned was just how persistent these chickens are to not only attempt to get at the plants we're planting, but really also just to explore and dig in the soil that we've just put down. Some of the tomato plants here were broken just really by curious chickens kind of grabbing at their leaves and pulling them in and just kind of snapping them. So I'm definitely gonna, when I replant, just go a little further away from the fence to start where the plants are establishing. And then as they get towards the fence, if they get grabbed or whatnot, you know, a leaf here or there is not gonna be a big deal, and they'll be a little bit taller by the time they touch the fence, which will make them less of a buffet item for everybody behind me. The last lesson we learned was that yes, we did put everything on this side of the fence, which is definitely keeping, you know, the majority of dog and chicken traffic out of our new little garden here. But we should have done a better job letting any visitors know that this kind of rice hull area is not meant for walking. And so we've had a few footprints in the middle of some of the young plants. Just should have done a better job letting people know that this was an active garden that we were working on, and you know, help us out to keep all the plants safe. So in this video, I'm just gonna repair some of the holes that have been put in through foot traffic, as well as the dogs were in the front yard, and Sunny did a little bit of digging in a spot as well, so I'll repair that. Then I'm just gonna plant some new plants that I just picked up today that are really healthy and look awesome. I got a bunch more tomatoes since this area is not looking so great, and I got a bunch more cucumbers since those really got hammered by the rain and the weather. They just did not take well at all. The sugar snap peas are looking good, and that's great because that's 3 sections of fence line, so nothing to do there other than just to make sure all the soil is in the right spot. Some of it did get dug up by the dogs. All right, so for our tomatoes, we'll just get right to it. I got a bunch of cherry tomato varieties. They're my absolute favorite, and it's so easy just to grab a couple when you're walking into the house and pop them in your mouth, or when you're headed out for the day with the kids. So I love to do lots of cherry tomatoes because they're just so great for snacking, and I get a few larger varieties as well. So you can kind of see, it looks like maybe this cherry tomato on the fence line here will survive. Maybe not, but we're gonna put another one in. The chickens have done a great job of clearing out this entire trench, just reminding me how far they can reach. So we will, hi everyone, I will make sure to do it inside that, and they're showing you the damage that they can do as they peck on my surviving tomato here. I actually think I'm gonna put this here for now. Yes. Hi tulip, hi brownie batter, hi penguin. These tulip and penguin are some of our original chickens ever. They're part of the first 6 that we ever got. So they're our longest had hens. They're just wonderful. Okay. So that was insanely easy. Always try to remember to put your tag back. It's a good gardener hack is to forget to label your plants. We all do it. This one is looking like it might come back. So, you know what, I think I'm gonna attempt to get it out of the grass here, or excuse me, the kind of mulch here. I think the chickens won't bother it. Oh, Penguin's gonna show me if she's gonna bother it. Can you let this thing be? What do you think? If I do that, will you leave it? Yeah, oh gosh, no, you won't. You know what? Maybe I'll just leave it on the ground for now until it gets a little bit, I'm gonna leave it on the ground until it gets a little bit sturdier. It'll do fine on the ground. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see, this one does not look good. Whoop, thank you, Penguin, for showing me. But this one looks like it's gonna be all right. It's got some new growth. It doesn't look great, but we'll leave her kind of tucked in. And I'll move this guy to the back. Okay, over a little bit. That one I just put in was a Sweet Million cherry tomato. This one is a black cherry tomato, and by accident I bought 2 of these, so we are gonna plant 2 today. Go a little bit deeper. Want to make sure you get that whole root ball covered. Okay. See if I can help her stand up a little bit. All right, so this is our second black cherry tomato, and I don't know if you can see this. This is looking kind of terrible, and this is looking kind of terrible, but we are getting some new foliage here, so I'm hopeful that this plant has a shot. So that was one of the original tomatoes that we planted. Get this guy covered. So pretty. This one is a Sun Sugar Yellow Cherry Tomato, and it looks like it's gonna be absolutely delicious. I believe the little you know, card about it said that it was great for snacking, which is exactly what I'm going for. Bury this in. Cover it up. And I'm also gonna water all of these when I'm done, just to make sure none of these little roots dry out. Okay, almost done. It's amazing how easy it is when you have nice soil all ready to go. And that's the other thing. If you have plants earlier in the year that fail, just remember you've done a ton of the hard work of getting your beds ready. You know, and it's not so bad to shoot up to the plant store and get a few more. It's kind of the fun of it. So although I was disappointed to see how hammered these plants got after that storm, and with some of the other lessons that we learned, you know, it was also fun to kind of go and pick out a couple new varieties of tomatoes as well. The one I just planted here is a big beef tomato. And then I got one left, which is a big boy tomato. And you can see I'm not doing anybody too close. I don't trust these chickies. Yes, I'm talking about you guys. I mean, just look at the quality of the, you know, the healthiness of these plants compared to the ones that are currently in the ground. It's just night and day. So I'm excited to I'm excited to have this for them, have some new plants that look so good. All right, let's do the cucumbers. All right, so the cucumbers definitely suffered the largest damage. I don't think any of them are gonna make it. There's one that's like hanging on by a thread, but I don't think that's gonna do well at all. I've got 4 kind of clumps of plants here. There's about 6 plants in each container. 2 are burpless cucumbers and 2 are straight 8 cucumbers. Now, here's where the big question comes in. So because there's about 6 plants per container, I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh yeah, woo. Because there's about 6 plants per container, I could break these up and separate them out, and it would probably be okay. However, I'm not gonna do it, and it's a coin flip here, but this is where I'm gonna go. Because I have this whole fence line to do these 4 containers worth, I know that these 6 will have a lot of space to kind of move out and find. That's Peanut. It's always Peanut who makes that alarm call when she can't find brownie batter. All right, everyone's okay. I know that they'll have lots of room to spread out. And in addition, because we've put together this like really robust, deep soil mixture, I also feel confident that the roots can move out a long ways in search of food, and that all 6 of them should be pretty well nourished and shouldn't get too root bound or tangled up. Another reason I don't want to separate them is this is a really damp pod. I mean, like just holding, if I were to squeeze this, I wouldn't be surprised if water fell out. And so therefore separating them could be really tricky. It could be very easy to accidentally pull this little shoot here away from its roots by accident. And then that's it, the plant is gone. And also where I bought so many, you know, if you're looking at 4 and there's 6 in each, I'm also okay if a few die due to competition. So for that reason, I'm gonna just leave them in their little clumps, but there's certainly reason to not do that. Some people might recommend you really should separate them, but I'm not gonna do that. The one other thing I'll say about separating them is they can go through a little bit of transplant shock, which can stunt their growth a little bit. And just in general, cucumbers are a variety of plants that don't love having their roots messed with unless they're really young. But these ones are already kind of big, so I'm gonna leave it. So here we go. Hi everybody. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, you can. These are our teenager chickens. These were hatched at my daughter's preschool from one or 2 of the hens here and our rooster brownie batter. And then when they were I think like 8 weeks old, we brought them home. Maybe 6 weeks old, we brought them home. So they're our 2 youngest free-ranging chickens right now, and then Favs, our broody hen, just hatched 6 out of a nest that she was sitting on. So those are our youngest. But they are just coming up on a week old, so they're not out free ranging yet. They're snuggling in the nest box with mama. Just like this. Hey ladies, let's see, we'll do this. There is no world in which I'm letting you guys get near these. Trying to do kind of an even spacing here. All right, let's see if my favorite cucumbers take off now. All right, so our last one to do is a new pepper. It looks like most of these peppers are actually in really good shape. Some of them not so much. I doubt this one's gonna make it, does not look good. These ones are looking really good. But we just grabbed another one because we love peppers and we didn't have this variety. It's a sweet banana pepper. And we did lose a couple. So I'm just gonna plant this one up here so that we have lots of food on the food fence this summer. Oh, there we go. All right, I think I'm gonna do this one. I think I'm gonna do this one right here. Is this from? You know what, actually, yeah, I don't think this one's gonna make it, so. All right, do it like that. Give it a nice little tag, and we're off and running. Oh, that's right, I wanted to fix the pepper that's over here. So this plant, just the roots here are almost totally exposed. You can see that it got dug out by the chickens over here in this corner. So half of the root ball is exposed. However, when the plant tipped over, they kind of just changed its direction so the leaves were still poking up at the sun. And it's already started to put on a teeny tiny little pepper, which is just adorable. So I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna kind of recover it since it's kind of, oh my gosh, yeah, look at this one. This one definitely died. I didn't even see this guy in there. Oh, it's too bad. I'm just gonna kind of recover this root ball just to help keep it moist. And it's obviously very happy in its new shape and direction. So we'll leave it like this. It looks beautiful and it's already kind of righted itself. Little repair work. Something put a giant hole in the garden here. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of fill it back in. And when I do, kind of just keep an eye out for any seeds that have been over. Oh, here's one. Ah, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is actually kind of cool. You get to see this little sprout, which you normally wouldn't. So you can see it's come out of the shell. Let's make sure you guys can see that. It's come out of the shell and it's got this one little root. So hopefully it can be saved. So we'll replant that. There's a few more over here. I don't want to disturb it too much because, you know, some of them might have already kind of found their way back to the top. Oh, here's one. Here's another one. How cool is that? Wow, that one, look at the roots on that one. Get that one in there. Just make sure there aren't any other ones that just kind of, oh yeah, here's one. Any other ones that just kind of didn't get toppled over. And if they did, I'll grab them and I'll put them back right side up. Oh, here's one more. Look at this little baby one. I don't know if you guys can see that. All right, so we've got that hole filled up. There's a couple here I'm just not gonna touch. And then I'll put these three kind of back. Okay, so I'm gonna literally just create this little pocket, lay in my little seedlings, make sure everyone's facing the right direction. Tulip badly wants these seedlings for herself. It's not gonna happen. Okay, I hope everyone does all right. A couple other ones that just kind of got messed up here. Just create another little hole. Anybody that's on their side looking like here's another one. How cool is that? Looking like they wish they weren't on their side. think that's pretty good. Saved a couple little pea shoots. Good for us. All right, I think that's it. A little bit of watering and then I think we're done.